Line up, you f***ing nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The money line. We are live. It's UFC Paris going down this Saturday. I'm AJ, joined as always by my guy, Mike Finch. What's happening, bro?
Smiling from ear to ear, AJ, because we just upped the parlay streak to 7 in a row, brother. Let's go, AJ.
Let's go. The Parlay King, baby.
I mean, don't listen to my locks. I mean, if I throw a lock out there, pretty much just fade the lock. But as far as the parlays go, we got to go ahead and crown it, brother. It's the Parlay King over here. So if I'm dropping a parlay, listen. If I'm dropping a lock, you might want to listen to and go the other way.
Mike Finch is, becoming Mr. Lock Fade. But at the end of the day, the parlays hit, bro. I think it's because you're looking for the line on the lock that fits. And, you want to give everybody Fritz with that,
Fritz. Now, I know who brought it up. Was it Dixon?
Yeah.
He brought it up where AJ has made up his own word, Fritz, and we had to call him out on it. AJ, are you going to keep saying it now? Is it your word, or are you going to conform to society?
At the end of the day, I would like to use proper English, because if I start saying Fritz, like, maybe people don't understand. But I guess I've been updated. My terminology it's Fitz, not Fritz. And I've been saying Fritz for the past few weeks on stream. Yo, he's going to give him Fritz on the feet. Nobody said anything until this breakdown. Dixon did. So I appreciate the correction. I didn't know that, man. I thought it was Fritz with an R. Maybe I knew when I was younger that it wasn't that, and just the word recently re-popped up in my vocabulary. But Fitz from now on sounds like more proper. I think I'll be going with the proper terminology for real.
Isn't that awesome when you catch people with that? Like, my little sisters used to say smash potato. I'd be like, say it again. No, mashed potato, or dolphins instead of dolphin. Fritz was yours. Yeah. He's going to give him Fritz. And I would always hear it on your other shows. I don't know. You didn't say it on Moneyline, or I would have given you shit for sure. But I hear it on your other shows. I'm like, what is he talking about? You almost had me thinking, maybe I just don't know about the Fritz word. It's just not in my vocabulary.
That's great, man. Shit, now I might have to keep saying it. Maybe that's a new definition.
I'm pretty sure it's a word.
Pure combat sport word. It means they're going to give them trouble in certain areas. Fritz. Make it a fucking Urban Dictionary at the least, bro. I'm going to have to add that word in myself.
Hey, throw Victor up. Finch looking like Lord Farquaad. That's right. Shrek reference. What's the famous speech he gave up on the thing where he talks to all the people? He said, oh, man, it's such a good line. I'm so upset I can't get it. I'm going to drop it. If I hit another parlay, I'm putting the crown back, and we're dropping the Lord Farquaad line because it's excellent. Shrek, AJ. Best move.
Listen, Shrek's a legendary saga or whatever, quadrilogy, whatever the fuck. It's a good series. I liked Shrek growing up. I was a fan.
Yeah, for sure.
I got to bring up this question, too. Yes.
Told me the world.
You're a big Shrek guy, man. I was too, though. It's a good vibe, dude. All right, let's do this. Moneyline first, and then it's Contender Series after, the usual schedule. I'll scream it up and down the streets until everybody knows. Following Moneyline, I will be dropping my Dana White's Contender Series breakdown. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I've been doing all right on Contender, 3-2 the past 2 cards, I believe. And I think we're going to keep the fire going. I feel like heading into this week, there's some really interesting matchups with some fun names. So, yeah, that breakdown's coming. I'm excited as hell for that. But obviously, I'm excited first for this breakdown. Finch, we did have a card this past weekend, and there was some great action early in the AM. I saw you jump into the chat. I'm like, Mike Finch is up late tonight. I'm up early as hell, man. 4:30 a.m. I started the stream, or I started getting up. And then 5 o'clock on time, I was live for the whole card. So that was a fun ride. I got to say, it was worth every second waking up that early, because that card delivered. Singapore was epic. And I want to bring up, firstly, the main event from UFC Singapore to recap that. Max Holloway was the winner, but I think the true winner was the fans. And I know Korean Zombie went out with a hard loss here, flat on his face. But in a sense, to me, with the nickname Zombie, going out like that was almost like the most beautiful way to go. You lose to one of the best ever at featherweight. You get dropped flat out on your face the way that he'd like to go, going for it. I mean, Zombie sat on his shots. He threw heat. He wasn't fighting to survive. He was looking for the finish, and he hurt Max Holloway on a couple of occasions, more than a lot of guys have as of recent. Obviously, he ended up getting knocked out in the third round. It was a pretty vicious KO with the right hook by Holloway landing on the dome. But honestly, for me, this is going to go down as a legendary fight for Zombie. This adds to the Zombie legacy. There's no loss in losing to Max Holloway for Zombie. I think that the way he went out was badass, man.
No, of course not. Look at the odds coming in, and we all know where Max Holloway is, going really close fights with Volk, and then you see Volk in a super close fight with Islam Makhachev. I mean, we're talking about A-plus level with Max Holloway. So Korean Zombie knew what he was in for. He wasn't in there, you know, all respect to the Nightmare, but he wasn't in there fighting Diego Sanchez. He was in there fighting Blessed, and you know, Blessed put on a performance, dropped him, and what did he do, AJ? Tried to go for a choke. He tried to darce him up. He did not try to go for the ground and pound finish, kind of let him off the hook, let Zombie back into the fight, but I think it was to show him respect. Like, that's really how much respect Max Holloway has for Zombie, is he's like, man, I would rather not break this guy's face up. I would rather go ahead and get the tap victory or a submission pass out. So it was cool to see Zombie come back a little bit. Like, he was storming at him. When Zombie got knocked out, Zombie was coming forward, you know, red eyes. Or what does a Zombie got? Black eyes, right? He was going for the kill. The car was in drive. Nothing was going to stop him unless it was a Max Holloway strike. And that's exactly what happened.
Max dropped it on him, and it was a retirement after. So that's the last time we'll see Zombie, but plenty of legendary memories, man. He had a great career. Never was a world champ, but honestly is going to go down as a featherweight fan favorite and one of the scariest guys back, you know, in the 2010s, fighting Jose Aldo for the belt. And now we're in 2023, and he recently fought for the belt again, and then just fought Max Holloway. No shame in the Zombie loss, man. I loved it. I thought it was epic.
Leonard Garcia. I mean, there was amazing fights. You know, I'm a little older than you, AJ, so I don't know. Were you watching live? I was watching the Versus channel, Korean Zombie slanging and banging on Versus, and that was just incredible action, man. Remember Dana White wearing the Korean Zombie shirt after the Leonard Garcia fight. Korean Zombie threw a twister up in the UFC as well. Shout out Eddie Bravo. He said he learned it online. I used to have 10th Planet JJ subscription as well. So me and Korean Zombie learning some submission moves from the same site. Dude, Korean Zombie, a real legend. What fight fan does not respect the Korean Zombie? Farewell to a real gangster.
Real gangster. Yeah, I saw that fight, actually. The WEC days, like right before there was the buyout, you know, when we saw the Zombie versus Garcia fight, when we saw Benson Henderson fighting against Anthony Pettis, that's when I was, you know, watching WEC, and it was, you know, the league with these badass smaller guys. And then the WEC champs come over in the lightweight division and fucking wreak havoc, become champions themselves, Henderson and Anthony Pettis. So yeah, that was classic, man. Classic time, classic run for Zombie. It's kind of like a closing of the chapter to the WEC days.
It is, man. Yeah. Is he one of the last ones to go? Shit. Jose's done.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm getting old, dude. This is fucked up, bro. Cub Swanson just won last week.
And he's still WEC, though. Yeah, he's an OG. You
know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to Korean Zombie, man. What a career.
Let's go. Shout out to Adrian in chat for the $9.99 donation, my brother. We appreciate you. Good job on the picks last week, guys. I went against you on the Billy G pick, but great all around. Looking forward to this week. Great work if you had that Billy G underdog, man. He ripped a beautiful shot right to the solar plex and dropped Kinoshita in what was a pretty badass performance. Adrian, thank you for the $9.99. And good shit on that dog play, my man. Let's go.
Thank you, brother.
And let's keep running through. Listen, we're going to dig back to the co-main event. We got Smith and Spann. I think that the decision could have went Spann's way. It was a close fight for sure, but I thought Spann was hitting him a little bit harder in that third round than Smith was. Obviously, I had picked Smith going into the fight to win again, so I was glad the pick was right. But my personal scorecard, I did favor Spann live. I thought that he had it 2-1.
Okay, really quick. I just ruined your breakdown here. Go to the chat. Haley Finch. My wife was listening from the other room. She drops the Lord Farquaad vote. Quote, some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make. Excellent line right there. Thank you, Haley. Appreciate that. I was wondering, she was like trying to talk to me. I was wondering what the hell's going on. Okay, back to the fight.
Yeah.
Okay,
back to it.
Anthony Smith and Ryan Spann was close, and something I don't hear people talking about. I think it's the number one thing we should be talking about is not just how do you score it and who won. It's how the fuck did Ryan Spann let Anthony Smith off the hook? He had him so hurt. Anthony Smith had one eyeball. Anthony Smith was fading away, and Ryan Spann, he looked like he had his cardio. He looked to not be very damaged. How did he find a way to lose that fight?
Yeah, I think it was the fact that he chose to engage on the floor instead of forcing Smith up.
Brother, I think that Superman Spann could have done a lot more on the feet, could have done a lot more with ground and pound in the clinch. I mean, just opened up more. You know, you got 2 minutes left, 1 minute left in the fight, man. Why leave it, you know, why leave it up to the judges like that? You know, that could have been, you know, if you could play Spann like a video game. Remember Dana saying this about Tyron Woodley? It's like, I feel like strategically he fucked up.
Yeah. No, he fumbled it. He chose to engage on the floor. Smith's good with his grappling. He was able to recover, holding on. And then Smith was alive in the third round, something that didn't look like was going to be true. It was sick, man. It was a great fight. Good back and forth. Spann loses by a razor-thin split. That's got to sting, right? Because the loss first time was a real clean loss, and the next one, everybody's telling you won, and you still take an L to the same guy.
I mean, let him off the hook, too. It's a different type of L, you know? When we were talking about Superman Spann, it's like, he's a beast in the first 3 minutes. He didn't fight like that this time, man. He almost seemed like he wanted to make it into the third, like that was his game plan. So I don't know, uncharacteristic. And it was too bad to see because, you know, like I said, winnable fight for him, AJ.
I think what it was is he took the Johnny Walker performance. He said, okay, I can outstrike Smith for 3 rounds and be calculated. He had the big moment where he hurt him. And then I think the, you know, striking game plan maybe went away. He said, let me try to ground and pound them out. Let's stop them. Let me try to strangle them. But when you got a vet like Smith, who has gone rounds with the Glover Teixeiras of the world on the floor and surviving vicious ground and pound, even if you have him hurt, I would prefer you let him stand up. You let a hurt Anthony Smith stand up and fight. Yeah. Because let's be honest here, the odds of Anthony Smith landing a takedown on Spann aren't huge. So if he's forced into the firefight on the feet at 50% of himself, sure, a wounded animal is dangerous. And if Spann got crazy wild, could he have got caught? Maybe. But he didn't win the fight either way. So he would have been better off letting Smith back up and trying to drop some heat on him, man.
Well, you said it right there. Firefight. Let him back up into a firefight. There wasn't a lot of fire. Those were like dollar store squirt guns. You know what I mean? He really actually needed to borrow that flamethrower from Elon Musk's Boring Company and let that thing rip because Spann has a lot of power. And I think he didn't show some of his best assets.
I agree. Smith got it done.
I'm disappointed, Superman. We expect a lot from you, sir. And, you know, if I was thinking Anthony Smith, I was thinking he'd get the jiu-jitsu game going. He'd take the back. He'd slap on the rear naked strangle, you know. He didn't fight his best fight. He did get damaged. Spann did a good job. But, yeah, man, it makes it tough to bet on Superman Spann heading forward, right?
Yeah. I was on the Smith side even heading into it, so I was grateful, man.
Oh, I know you were happy with that bullshit decision. You were happy with it.
Listen, I don't want to say I'm happy with a bullshit decision because you know the game needs to be pure. So no, I won't. You know, I'm a purist fan, bro, regardless of the betting side. Now we got Chikadze Caceres. This one here, Alex Caceres, to me, went in with a dumb game plan. He's a pure martial artist and brings the very martial arts philosophy into the cage. And I think he wanted to give Giga Chikadze a chance to strike with him. And he wanted to prove he could beat Giga on the feet. But the likelihood of taking out a high-tier kickboxer like Giga, very low. respect Alex Caceres for going 3 rounds, and he had some moments on the feet, and he hit Giga Chikadze in the face. Caceres is a good fighter, but could you imagine that he even offered some threat with the grappling? I believe the striking would have opened up. Chikadze had zero worry of takedowns in this fight because Alex Caceres chose to engage in a pure kickboxing match, exactly what Giga Chikadze is looking for. Even if Caceres was unsuccessful on 5 takedown attempts, I think it would have led to more striking success because of the potential grappling threat. Maybe some punches open up. Instead, you're going to take a guy at his best game, which is kickboxing, and do a kickboxing match inside of the cage. I thought it was a bad game plan for Caceres. I have to say, though, damn, he's tough, because he was able to go long with a Giga Chikadze. The dude's extremely experienced at this point, Alex Caceres, and, knows how to do well inside of the cage. But I think there was a pure game plan lapse. The same like Sean Strickland not shooting on Pereira. Why would Caceres not shoot on Chikadze?
I don't know. I think, a lot of people are going to look at that Calvin Kattar fight and see that as a blueprint to beat Giga, but that's not Alex Caceres' game. He's a long-rangey guy too, and of course he has, a lot of submission victories, and we expected him to shoot for takedowns. I agree 100%, but it's not as easy for him to close that distance on Giga. Giga keeps that kickboxing range, and so I think Caceres was more so like, all right, I'm going to see what I could do because I'm not doing too bad on the feet here. Giga, to me, looked like he'd been out for a little bit. I mean, he just didn't look as hot on the trigger as he did in those early UFC fights when he was laying down a couple of those knockouts, going up for the head kicks, slamming those body kicks. Not quite the type of work that I'm used to seeing from Giga. I'll chalk that up as a little bit of ring rust. I do expect Giga to come back a little bit looser, and I do believe that he won that fight, but it was close. Alex Caceres definitely made it close, and yeah, you can only, just like we criticize Spann, you got to criticize Alex and be like, dude, what if he made that more of an MMA fight? What could have been? But we never know what they're seeing in there. And with that fight, I mean, Giga keeps such a long range. It is difficult to close that range on him when you're not like a wrestler boxer like Calvin Kattar, 2 different styles. And maybe Giga isn't as easy to get a hold of as he looked in that one fight.
I'll say this too, Caceres, I guess we have to bring it up. I'm seeing the chat spamming a bit. He did break his arm in the first round, which could have definitely limited a potential grappling attack.
I'm just learning that right now.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, right? Going in all 3.
Did you know that?
I mean, I forgot it, but I did hear about it the day after.
Got you. Damn, he broke his arm. It was probably blocking one of those fucking sledgehammer kicks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Giga kicks, dude. I've sparred everybody I can at King's MMA except for Giga. If it comes to sparring Giga, I gotta go to the bathroom, bro. I forgot my mouthpiece in my bag. I gotta go find it. I want none of the smoke, man. Everybody knows you don't spar Giga Chikadze because those kicks go into your soul. He kicks people in the ribs so hard their ancestors feel it.
That's funny. That's a Rocky quote, man. Is Giga Chikadze like a Sean Strickland type spar where he's looking to knock you out?
Sean Strickland is a slap boxer. Giga Chikadze is breaking bones. Giga Chikadze, no, Sean Strickland never kicked anybody and broke their arm. No, sparring Sean Strickland sounds awesome. Sean Strickland it's a different thing, AJ. Like Sean Strickland wants to make it kind of like a fight where if he hurts you, he's going to keep going. I think if Giga drops you, he'll let you off the hook, okay. But Giga's, it's like a vacuum. It's either on or it's off. There's no touch sparring, as to where Sean Strickland, all he does is kind of go 50%.
I feel like he's knocking dudes out in sparring, bro. I'm watching Sean Strickland. He's fucking head kicking motherfuckers and sleeping them in sparring.
He doesn't develop as much kinetic energy. Well, he's bigger than Giga. So I mean to say that Giga has more snap to his shit, So yeah, I just, not to no names, but Giga Chikadze's knocked people out at King's MMA with knees to the face, dude, in sparring, bro. Yeah. Shoot a takedown on him, you might eat a knee to the jaw. So I guess if they both knock people out in sparring, I see the equation there. Yeah. But when I watch Sean Strickland, I don't see the Giga style.
No. I just meant purely the intensity. Like he's gonna take your head off type shit.
He fucking spars hard. Yeah, I mean a lot of guys do. Go spar with any of these Brazilians. What do you think it's like sparring Jose Aldo? It's like some of these guys. That's how they do it. You could. Look at Vanderlei Silva sparring videos, you know? Yeah, for sure. Some guys in the sparring room like to fight.
Yeah, let's go. That's sick. Yo, we got to go to the fight right before this, but I don't have the graphic here with me. I accidentally dropped it off. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just talk about it real quick. It was Erin Blanchfield versus Talia Santos. I'm glad Erin Blanchfield won. She got touched up in that first round. She was given some fits in the first round, I'll say. And I thought that the eye of Santos swelling up and obviously previous damage to it, I remember her blinking it out a lot. And I really think that it limited her onset. And then you saw Blanchfield turn up the pressure, throw pretty decent punches. I know you're ready to rip the striking apart of Erin Blanchfield. Let's hear it, Mac. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I shouldn't have told AJ before we went on, you know. I just wanted to mentally prepare you. Well, no, I watched AJ's breakdown. He actually does a recap solo of the fights, which you guys should all check out. And AJ was saying, you know, oh, Blanchfield, she put on a lot of pressure and she was walking her down and landing good shots. I think Erin Blanchfield's striking got exposed. I think when you saw those early minutes with the speed difference, the technique difference, the snap in the shots, you can see an opportunity to knock Erin Blanchfield out. I do believe she will be knocked out one day. Will it be Shevchenko? Will it be a rematch with Taila Santos? Will it be Alexa Grasso? I have no idea, but man, you could definitely tell that. Do you hear this? Do you hear this right now? I have one of those Amandas, you know, those things from you know, Amazon's got one.
Yeah.
You heard the name Grasso, the first name of Grasso. I have one of those. I think that her striking is not as dangerous. And you could really see that with Taila Santos and her getting stuffed that many times too. I like that you credited Taila Santos's takedown defense, though. I think that's 100% right. I'm still very impressed with the grappling of Blanchfield off. And you know what's the most impressive, dude? She's got heart. She's a winner. Erin Blanchfield, without getting any takedowns, is I think she did get a couple, is still a freaking dog. She goes for the win. She's very tough. What is she, 24 years old? And she's built, you know, very, very rugged. She's ready for war. So I'm impressed by all that stuff. I'm just saying her striking, the only thing that's good is the pressure.
I guess with Blanchfield, I never thought of her as a slick striker. I like the pressure striking. The fact that she threatens you with so much grappling, she'll walk you down. Her durability's there. She's eating shots and she comes forward. So yeah, relies on her toughness a bit. I like the style of Blanchfield. I think she's going to give hell to Grasso or Shevchenko. I think she gives hell to either one of them, man. I think she's a nightmare matchup because Talia Santos has some of the freakiest balance in MMA, regardless of division. I don't see these other females in the weight class towards the top stopping those takedowns. If Talia Santos can't keep the pace with you, can stop the takedowns for the most part, but can't stop the pressure, I think she gives hell to the other contenders. Because I look at Talia Santos's run, and I was saying all week, dude, she could be 21-0 if for judges' scorecards going the other way. And, you know, you could say, anybody could say it, but these are split decisions. So that right there was like the uncrowned champ fight.
I am extremely impressed by her. You know, that was one where I actually did end up making just a tiny bet on that fight, and I parlayed like everything with Max Holloway. So, man, I thought that that was a really close fight. I actually, you know, wouldn't have been surprised if it went the other way. It was just she hurt her eye. You saw that? She was grabbing her eye. It was his previous injury, right?
It was from the Shevchenko fight. She had surgery, I believe, on the eye.
That's right. So yeah, like, you know, got dotted in that same eye. I don't even think it was a poke, not taking anything away from Blanchfield, but what a close, good fight. Those ladies are so good. And you're saying you don't think anybody's going to stop her, brother, in a 5-round fight, Alexa Grasso versus Erin Blanchfield? Sign me up.
I want to see it. I'm all in for it. Yeah, let's do it. I think that's potentially coming. Depends if she beats Shevchenko again. I got to bring up this dono. I had it sitting there for a few minutes accidentally. I apologize. DJ Olicenti Mangier, the 10 Canadian dollars. I appreciate you. Was running errands 2 hours ago, and a Victoria's Secret model approached me and asked if I had plans tonight. I told her to go get lost since I had to go home and catch the lads on the Moneyline show. That's incredible. That's incredible. My man.
Brother,
listen,
we needed you here. Thank you. We needed you here.
Thank you, man. We appreciate that. Listen, she can catch you on a Wednesday night or something. She can catch you on a night where I'm not going live, where I drop a pre-recorded video that you can watch at any time. My guy.
Yeah, you got to try to make plans with her over the weekend, brother.
Well, not Saturdays. Fight companion. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. That's fair. But
or they bring it to the table. Listen, it's a first date, but I'm watching my YouTube most of the time. You know, I think it is what it is.
He'll just be watching his phone while he's on the date.
Yeah,
earpiece in. Watching, looking down at AJ talking. I could see it. We appreciate you tuning in, brother. Thank you for the money.
Let's go.
Very
All right,
kind.
guys. It's time to break this card down. I want to start it off because we've been chilling for a bit, chit-chatting back and forth. I'm ready for the breakdown, man. And I'll say it one last time for Ryan Kern. He's asking, AJ, Dana White's Contender Series, you need a lock? Dana White's Contender Series picks are dropping following this. Preceding this, or no, post-seeding? What is it?
It's Fritz.
The Fritz. Put him on the fucking Fritz. Listen, after this fucking video, it's coming out, all right? Keep your eyes peeled on the channel. I'll be dropping it soon, all right? It's coming. Don't worry about it.
It's coming, folks. And no, I'm not chill, son and motherfuckers. Chat, get it right. I'm the one and only Finchbird, okay? I ain't double-legging and holding. I'm throwing spinning back kicks.
Let's go. All right, chill, son, and let's get to the first fight on the card. We got Javid Basharat versus Clayton Rodrigues. And I just totally fumbled, bro, because it's Farid Basharat versus Clayton Rodrigues, starting it off with a little fumble. All right, Mike, this matchup here, I'm going with the Basharat train. I really think that he can beat Clayton Rodrigues pretty much anywhere this fight ends up going. His stand-up is pretty precise, but what he's known for is his submission threat. The dude is dangerous on the floor. He's a natural bantamweight. Clayton Rodrigues is a guy who's historically struggled to make 125 pounds, and he's a pretty explosive and powerful guy at 125. But I don't think they're doing him any favors jumping up to 135 against Basharat, who's a prospect and a half, who just is coming off of a win against Damon Blackshear, who's looked pretty good in the past few weekends, back-to-back fights, even his loss to Batista. He's controlling Batista on the ground in moments. I think it shows you Basharat's a no-joke level in his overall game, and I think he's going to beat Clayton Rodrigues, though I think we'll go all three. Rodrigues, I mean, he's well-rounded. The dude can strike and grapple. I don't think he gets laid clean. Could he be pounded on and then maybe strangled? I think low likelihood. I'm going to go Basharat by decision personally.
You know, I think Basharat's submission is live. I like Clayton Rodrigues. You guys know that. You guys know I've picked Clayton Rodrigues in the past. He's good. He's explosive. But moving up to 135, he loses his best asset, which is that he could bully these guys a little bit. When he was in there striking with you, you were dealing with a big guy, powerful guy for the weight class. He's going to lose a little bit of that. And then he comes up to 135. And what does the UFC do? They go, here, take on Basharat. Oh, shit. Basharat's a menace, bro. Basharat's good on the feet and better on the ground. So we got to go with Basharat. It could go decision. It could be a submission. Moneyline it if you guys are looking at that. You're not crazy for thinking Clayton does all right in this fight, but if it is, it's 2 out of 3 rounds and he's kickboxing and using takedown defense. It's a tall order for him, AJ.
Yeah, Basharat should get it done. He's a big favorite, though, in this matchup, sitting at minus 310 to Clayton Rodrigues at plus 260. I do think he wins by decision, but that line's minus 110. Basharat is more of a parlay piece, probably on the money line side of things. I do think he wins. Yeah, he's a big favorite, but he's going to pull it off here against Clayton Rodrigues. And he probably wins by a decision. The sub prop for Basharat up at plus 350, but that's because Clayton Rodrigues is not an easy guy to finish.
Yeah, I mean, Clayton Rodrigues is a great striker. He's definitely going to try to be explosive early on. He's probably going to be feeling good coming out there, not cutting as much weight. You know, I'm sure it was really hard to get down to flyweight. So him coming out there explosive, he'll be in the fight, but I think he's getting taken down because of it, brother. And, you know, I think Basharat's live for that rear naked choke. So I like Clayton, kind of rooting for him. I'm betting against him.
Let's go. Basharat for the win over Clayton Rodrigues to start it off. The next one is Ange Loosa versus Rhys McKee. I'm picking the side of Ange Loosa to win, and I think he might knock McKee out. Something about McKee that's likable, right, is his length. He's a tall guy who does like to work a jab and fights well from the longer ranges. But Loosa, to me, is just much more of a menacing force inside of the cage. He'll have a physical strength edge. I think he's the powerful, puncher compared to the two. He's the harder hitter for sure. And I feel like him closing the gap on McKee, I can see him landing some big straight punches and potentially hurting him. But even if he has to just clinch up and grapple, I think he'd outwork McKee in those positions. He's a Kill Cliff FC fighter, and I think Loosa is going to win this thing. I'm kind of thinking knockout, man. I could see it going all three, but I think he might knock McKee out.
I could see it just because of the straight up kickboxing style of McKee, and Loosa's pretty good at dealing with it. You know, he checks kicks really well. Remember that Jack Della Maddalena fight? Dude, he kind of gave Jack Della a run for his money. He had him in that head and arm choke. Now, I must say, Loosa, that head and arm choke was really well set up from half guard, and he got to mount with it really nicely and dismounted really nicely. But the finishing techniques on the head and arm choke, super white belt stuff. He did not reset his hips. He was not on the arteries. He did not get his neck lower. He did not walk around like the hand of a clock. He did not try to adjust the grip. So he definitely showed that he's not a jiu-jitsu ace when he was going for that. But does he need to be in this fight? He's got more power. He's got hands. He was still able to hit a couple takedowns on Jack Della Maddalena. Remember, he took him down in the third round as well. Not the only guy to take Jack Della down, but still, like, that's a much higher level guy. You know, Jack Della's going to be much more dangerous, and that went all round. So, yeah, give me Loosa, and Loosa's live to finish this thing.
Yeah, I like Loosa to win. The money line is not crazy here with Ange Loosa as a -182 favorite to Rhys McKee at +157. Loosa by KO is all the way up at +350, whereas him by decision is +150. I think the money line would be the side if you're betting this one. I feel like Loosa is going to end up beating McKee, but method of victory wise, if they end up striking, McKee gets, a little overzealous, and then I think Loosa could hurt him inside. But it could also be a Loosa showing the well-roundedness and potentially in top position, controlling a bit. That doesn't sound crazy at all. So I like Loosa on the money line here. I think he beats McKee. I'm going back watching McKee versus Judo Jim Wallhead last time out, and Wallhead's nearly 40 now, always a tough vet. But at the end of the day, there's good shots being landed on McKee's face, and I think that Loosa in his prime, young guy, is going to give McKee fits.
Agreed. Yeah, maybe a late TKO, guys. If he gets on top, he could do it with the ground and pound, or maybe he does it with the hands, because McKee's going to try to kick a lot. He's going to get his shit checked. He's going to get his shit timed, and there's a height disadvantage. Like, Loosa does have to close some distance, but maybe he does it and drops him too.
Let's go. Loosa for the win for Finch and I both. Next fight on the card, we got ladies going after it. It's Nora Cornolle versus Joselyne Edwards. I'm picking the side of Joselyne Edwards, Mike, and it's not like I'm jumping at the fucking bit to tell you.
You're betting the house on it, right?
Yeah.
Your favorite UFC fighter, Joselyne Edwards.
Favorite fighter, bet the house. That's it. Lock of the century, dude. That's a strong term. Lock of the century, bro. I feel like Joselyne Edwards has fought the better competition. She's on a 3-fight UFC win streak. She's a striker in her own right, but is fairly well-rounded. I know nothing of Cornolle at a high level. Yes, she has good Muay Thai. Yes, she's a strong girl who's bullying her opponents on the lower level scene, and she's getting a lot of stoppages, and she's showing some grappling capabilities in those fights. But when you dig into the competition level, there is a, essence of subpar. 4-2 fighter last time, debuting fighter the one before, 12-10 fighter the one before that, 1-0 fighter before that, and a 2-0 fighter before that. Cornolle at 34, making her UFC debut, coming from a striking background. At the end of the day, maybe Edwards is not the one to give her the first L. I do think she's going to be the first. I guess she has one L as a pro, but the first UFC L. I think as she moves up the ranks, if she does end up winning this fight, there's going to be some damage on the ground that she ends up suffering, because I just don't believe that at 34, the grappling capabilities are going to be able to catch up. And even though she has a good Muay Thai game, I don't see her as an impeccable striker. I don't see her standing with Manon Fiorot right now and able to hit her with big punches or getting in there with the likes of, some of these top tier girls. I guess wrong weight class is 35, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't think she's going to go strike with Holly Holm tomorrow. I feel like Joselyne Edwards in this spot here can be successful, man. Women's 135, I feel like, has some of the weirdest fucking fights too. So I'll go Edwards by a decision, dude.
Yeah, Cornolle, she's got nice Muay Thai, and she puts a lot of pressure forward. I think if she clinches Edwards up, she might be able to beat her up a little bit, dude. She's got nice Muay Thai frames. Like, when I'm watching her fight, she's manipulating these women with the Muay Thai frames really nicely, and I could imagine her landing some good shots, but Edwards has a way of squeaking these fights out, of just doing just enough. And I mean, how many times do we need to see where, the odds are kind of close and the newcomer looks a little better, but the UFC veteran just kind of does what they need to do and shows their experience when that newcomer comes in? I mean, this story has happened constantly. And so it's hard for me to pick Cornolle here. And I am a fan. I do think, like, on paper or just watching them fight, she looks better, but she's fought significantly worse competition. And this being her, big spotlight debut in the UFC, I got to go with Edwards split decision. Would that be 3 in a row? And, I know usually, like, for the Holloway fight, I remember seeing the split decision prop. I actually ended up betting that it won't go to a split decision because I thought that'd be damn near impossible for Korean Zombie to get a split decision with Max Holloway, right? So that was easy money. The odds were ridiculous, of course. But if you want on this one, honestly, it's kind of abnormally likely that this is like one of those close fights that goes to a close decision and Edwards edges it out. That would be my guess here. Honestly, folks, don't bet on it.
The money line odds are essentially even. Joselyne Edwards is a slight dog at -105. Nora Cornolle -115. Cornolle opened up as a -170 favorite, and now she's obviously a slight favorite. And then Edwards was a big dog and now very slight dog at essentially even money. Probably goes over 2.5 at -155. But this is one of those fights where you just sit back and find out some things about Cornolle, take some notes about her, and if she does win as you move forward. To me, I just don't think either one of these fighters at this point, especially Edwards, but Cornolle, just due to the lack of, high-level experience, no bet here. I'll pick Edwards to win a decision.
Yeah, no bet. Chill on this one. I don't know if it'll be the greatest fight in UFC history, but it's definitely one that'll be a toss-up. It's tough to pick. Cornolle looks a little better than me, AJ. I do like how she moves forward. That might help her. And this next fight we're about to talk about, if it's the next girl fight, if that's the lineup, same lineup on Tapology, is her only loss.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting, right? I guess the side of Cornolle, that's the one high-tier matchup we can give her. But it was when her opponent was only 1-0. So let's jump to that next one because this one's very interesting. We have Zarah Fairn taking on Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I'm going against a fucking whim and going out on a whim, going against the wind. I'm going against everybody. I'm going to pick Zarah Fairn on a decision, dude. The reason that I'm going, I know it's laughable in a sense, but damn, I got a debuting girl who's taking the fight on 2 weeks' notice. An LFA champ, but does have a recent loss over at the PFL Challengers Series to a girl who then went on to have a lot of trouble in PFL against that level of competition. It's not that Zarah Fairn has ever impressed me, but if you look at her UFC resume, Megan Anderson lost, former title challenger, a loss after that. Now the fucking name has totally escaped me, but we're going to have to pull it up.
Yeah, her last fight, I actually was impressed by her last fight. It was the short girl, the Brazilian.
Joselyne Nunes. And then before that, she lost to Felicia Spencer. So at the end of the day, 2 of those fighters were title challengers. One of them is Joselyne Nunes, who's a pretty menacing force at 145 pounds and a powerful girl. Zarah Fairn is awkward as hell with her stand-up, but she does have, a kickboxing base there, a Muay Thai base. Cavalcanti looks good, but I'm just not sold on the game yet. And then you give me a weird matchup against Zarah Fairn in Paris, where she lives. She resides there, even though she is Brazilian as well. I'm going to go Fairn to pull off the upset, dude. I'll say decision upset in a fight where Cavalcanti coming in on 2 weeks' notice maybe slows down as we get later. That's a concern to me. 2 weeks notice, and then you're taking on a girl who's not technically sound, but tough and fucking awkward as shit.
First thing, this crown is like slowly leaving my head. I'll put it back on for the parlay. I promise, folks. It'll be back on. Okay. All right. Cavalcanti. The Nora's one loss is to Cavalcanti, and if you look at the way Cavalcanti fights, it's so similar, right? She likes to move forward. She's got good Muay Thai, very, very similar. For Fairn, look at what she did against Joselyne Nunes last time. That was a good fight, AJ. She starts fast. You're not crazy for picking her. I'm picking her too.
Holy
I don't care if her record's 500. Look, she's huge. She's a tower for the weight class. Cavalcanti's taking it on what? 10 days notice? 2 weeks notice?
2 weeks. Like 2 weeks at best. Yeah, she just took it.
And the odds are what?
Crazy wide. Right now, Zarah Fairn is a massive underdog at plus 330 to Cavalcanti at minus 400.
I think those odds are wrong. Look, Fairn is not a great fighter, but Nunes is pretty freaking good. And Joselyne Nunes and her went to war. I mean, that was a pretty close fight. And I like how she starts fast. Could she make Cavalcanti gas a little bit? I think this is very close to a 50-50 fight. So seeing that line, I might touch it with $5 for fun.
Oh, yeah, I think it's a light little touch. You know, Zarah Fairn is not a consistent performer per se, but she had a layoff and then came back looking improved. And now you give her Cavalcanti, who's debuting. Bro, I think Zarah Fairn has a real chance to upset. I don't think it's a bad money line touch. I'm not saying bet the house on it, but you got a huge plus money line with a UFC veteran who's been in there with title challengers. And then on the opposite side, you have a girl who, yes, she's an LFA champion, but has not fought at the highest level of mixed martial arts. She also, coming in on 2 weeks notice, is a huge red flag. I'm going Fairn. We're going Fairn. We're on Team Fairn for the win.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Some people in the chat super mad about that. And Devon Brown, congratulations for getting a 6 parlay last week. Whatever we can do to help, my friend. Of course. Of course. We've been hitting these parlays left and right. Me and AJ have been pretty freaking sharp, honestly. And so you guys better get some respect. Put some respect on it. We're looking at the dog here. And AJ and I, when we're both on a dog, at least take notice, folks. At least take notice. I think Fairn is a good striker, and that, you know, the way these two match up, it's not like Cavalcanti's going to, you know, be able to just completely smash her with the wrestling watch she does, right? That's my problem with Fairn. Fairn can kickbox with a kickboxer. I think this will be a good fight. And seeing that she's a 3-1 dog, or even maybe a 4-1 dog on some books, that's crazy to me. Give me the dog.
Yeah, I think go dog here. Yeah, normally a 10-year age disadvantage is also a red flag, but 2 weeks notice, inexperience in Paris, tricky style. I think Zarah Fairn has the making of a freak show upset this weekend. Let's go. We need a big upset. There hasn't been a big upset like that since, I guess, Bedoya Kinan Song. That was one. So it happens sometimes. This would be even bigger than that, though.
This would be big. This would be, I mean, the Sugar Sean O'Malley second round knockout felt like a nice upset. But yes, for sure. I mean, this is MMA, yo. Fairn. We're going Fairn. Call us crazy. Yes, she's old. So what? We're going Fairn.
We're going Fairn. Let's go. Let's keep running up the card. Next fight on it, we have Morgan Charriere versus Manolo Zecchini, the Italian Zecchini, who I'm picking against, dude. I'm going Charriere. I wish I could go the Zecchini side. He's a dangerous motherfucker, and he comes to brawl. I like the style, but he was getting taken down on multiple occasions in a recent fight, and he's also been touched up a bit on the feet because he's willing to engage in brawls. And granted, it's a working style a lot in Venator FC, but that is not the UFC. And Charriere has been waiting for years to get this chance. The dude has 30 pro fights. I think that Charriere has the option of takedown. He's also going to be the cleaner kickboxer when they are striking. Zecchini, I like that he's throwing up flying knees and chaotic attacks, but I don't see that working well against Charriere. I expect Zecchini at some point to get desperate and put on his back, and I think Charriere goes out there and beats him clean. Yeah, I'm going with Charriere, Mike Finch.
I'm stealing your joke, Super Benny. I like Zecchini. I really do. Zecchini comes out there hot, bro. Zecchini bends his knees. He's out there throwing the jabs. I like where his stance is at. I like him in the first minute of a fight for sure. But the more I watched, the more tape I watched, I started seeing, okay, this guy's more green. And Charriere, which is the most French name I've ever heard, he's definitely got that experience, and you could see it. He's got that patience that you see from like a Patricio Pitbull. He stalks people. He's dangerous, but he doesn't blow out his energy. He's got good energy management at this point, as to where Zecchini's out there throwing in. And so I think Zecchini's live in the first round. But I got to pick Charriere, and I do think Charriere wins rounds 2 and 3. Maybe he gets clipped a little bit, but he even have a wrestling advantage. Like, he's a striker, and he's a very powerful guy. I was tempted to bet against him, but the more I watch, the more I'm like, you know what? He's a veteran. He'll probably find a way to win 2 out of 3. Give me Charriere.
Charriere for the W. I like it too, man. I think he pulls it off on the cards. Minus 300 for Charriere, a bit wide for a debuting fighter against a guy who's got all heart. Plus 250, Zecchini as the dog. I think Charriere beats him. You know, half of me just says, yo, listen, if there's an Italian on the card, we'll throw $20 at it. But
because all those Italian champions, AJ,
exactly the lack thereof.
Hall of Fame is just full of Italians, AJ.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're not, bro. So we gotta get behind one. You know what I'm saying? We gotta send some positive green to him. And maybe
Rocky Balboa is a movie, AJ.
Italians have great boxers, man. They have great boxers.
It's not real life. You ever see the Eddie Murphy bit? Every Italian came walking out of the movie theater from Rocky. What'd you say to me, Bob? You know? Yeah. The Italians are they make good pizza, but
the dangerous street fighters, actually, man.
Is that right?
Yeah, I've seen it, bro. They can scrap at the what fight was it? At the Floyd Mayweather fight with Gotti the third. There was some street fights with some big Italians, man.
You know why? Because Italians will street fight. That's why they're good street fighters. Because they're like, we're doing this. You know, Italians are passionate people. I understand that. I could say like percentage chance, right, of an Italian getting into a fight a little higher.
Little bit. I think Zecchini here is that guy that would throw down on any corner. So listen, he's not a horrible underdog if you're looking to attack a guy that's all heart. But realistically, Charriere has been fighting a very long time. He's poised to win here, and I think he's going to get it on the cards. Minus 300 is wide. It should be minus 200, maybe even minus 150. But Charriere, unanimous decision, bro.
Charriere, UD.
Let's go. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card. It's actually going to bring us to our main card. We got Yanis Ghemmouri versus Caolan Loughran. Holy shit, that Irish last name is getting me more than anybody from fucking Chechnya and Dagestan ever has. Holy shit, Loughran. That's just, I don't know, it doesn't flow right off my tongue. I'm going to go Loughran to win here. I think he could pull it off. I don't love the fact that his opponent was a dangerous kickboxer before getting into MMA, but he has a very hands-low style. And, you know, Finch, he reiterated this point, you know, this was a while ago, that MMA has the best strikers, right? And I have backed that claim now because I'll bring up points of even the Giga Chikadze Alex Caceres fight. No, Caceres is not winning that bout, but he still had successful moments against a high-tier kickboxer. It's a different game when you got 4-ounce gloves and a threat of takedowns, elbows, knees. I think that Loughran can get this fight potentially to the floor. He's a really athletic guy, and he's got good pressure that he puts on to his opponents. He can definitely crack with the hands. Ghemmouri, to me, has good abilities, and I feel like his kickboxing obviously is going to jump off the page, but he does have some takedowns too. He can grapple a bit. I just think Loughran's pace is going to be too much. He'll be in his face. He'll be a dog. Kind of, got that Irish grit. Another group of people who throw down at any fucking moment is the Irish folks. So give me Loughran to win this damn thing.
Yeah, I like Loughran in this one too. You know, Ghemmouri's going to be better on the feet for sure, but how is he going to be moving backwards? And with the threat of the takedown, the overhand rights and the left hooks start opening up. So you could imagine him getting clipped a little bit, and that's all Loughran will need to push him into that fence. Jam him into that thing, smush him onto the wall like a pancake, try to take him down. He's much more physically strong when he gets his hands clasped underneath the hips. I think he will get those takedowns on the fence. I got to go Loughran, and it could even be a finish, but we'll err on the side of caution and say he wins a UD.
Looking at the chat, we got a dono in it. Rod, $4.99. Thank you. Happy Monday with the 3 or 4 Ys at Royal Creation SE for all event planning needs. Check it out.
He threw a legit ad out here,
it.
folks. I like
Listen,
it.
I'll read it off for him. Listen, you want an event plan, you want high quality, you go to Royal Creation SE and you give them a little shout and you mention Moneyline. Maybe they'll give you a little bit of a deal. You know what I'm saying? They'll throw you some love.
We want a Moneyline deal, okay? If they go to your Royal Creations, all right, and they say they're from Moneyline, you hook them up with the AJ Italian special.
That's it. That's what I want. That's what I want. Hey, we appreciate you, Rod. We appreciate you dropping a little advertisement for us. I don't mind reading off an ad. You know what I'm saying? That was enjoyable. The next, the chat will be filled. We'll have like 20 ads to read off, all different companies.
Go ahead, folks. Go ahead. Go
read
ahead.
Them off.
You drop $20, you're gonna get an even better ad read. Okay, you could buy ad space. We're for sale. We're no better than the politicians. Do it.
Let's go. All right. As far as the odds, Loughran is -280 as the favorite. Ghemmouri +240. Loughran by decision sits at +300. Loughran by submission +12. +450 with a KO at +120. I don't know, man. I think Loughran does win, but outside of the money line, I'm not really into it. I don't want to go prop chasing with debuting fighters, even betting them at -280 debuting guys. That's fucking Riskville, USA.
Yeah. You might touch a parlay, but I don't know if this will make it, brother. I think that Loughran's striking is just available enough. Sometimes when he misses, he's just a little over his feet. Like, if he was a little more well-rounded, I would tell you guys to lock it.
Let's help this guy. He said that he made a little fumble in the spelling. Royal Creations EP, not SE, just for the people. Royal Creations EP.
There you go. Wow. We just ran a legit ad for you, dog. You're welcome back, Rod. Thank you for the donation, and you're welcome for the advertisement.
Let's go. Hey, I think that we're on the right side with Loughran, but if you're betting him with substantial amounts of fucking dinero, I think you're a little bit on the reckless side for the simple fact that you have a guy with no debut in the UFC yet. And at the end of the day, yeah, he's doing his thing outside of the octagon, and he's a good Irish prospect, but Ghemmouri's 12-1. He's got a good striking game. The odds shouldn't be wide like this, man.
I think people see what we see as far as the takedowns being had.
Yeah.
And so the wrestlers get a little bit of love, AJ. And you also noticed he's quite a muscular gentleman. So he might have that little physical advantage, and he might be able to use that when it comes to grappling.
Finch's take. What'd you think about what I was saying? You went back when you saw his last fight?
Say it. You gotta say it now for the people. You're gonna make me say it?
No, you gotta say. They know what I said if they watched the show last night.
AJ thinks, remember Alistair Overeem told you that he was eating horse meat. They're like, why are you so muscular? He's like, I eat horse meat. Well, after he fought Brock Lesnar, his testosterone to epitestosterone ratio was 17-1. The average male is 2-1. 2 testosterone, 1 epitestosterone. Alistair Overeem, if I remember correctly, was 17-1. Okay, he was 10 men. All right. And so I'd say Loughran is probably around, maybe he's like 8-1.
8-1.
He's got, got big balls, AJ.
Let's go. Respect to him, man. Respect to Loughran. He's a dog. Listen, we'll see on Saturday. I might just be jumping at it because it looked like there was a maybe. I don't know. If he looks mad deflated coming in, then it's like, okay, USADA's kicked up. Conor McGregor shrunk. You saw his Instagram post? It looks like he's dropped about 15 pounds of fucking muscle.
Is that right? No,
he looks skinny. He looked skinny when he posted again. Obviously, he had some muscle. I'm giving him a hard time, but he definitely lost a little bit of the fill that he had before.
I'll go check him out, dude. No, Alistair Overeem was always, remember he was a 205er. Go tight. After the show's done, we want to keep you here. Okay, we need the watch time to keep going for the stats, folks. He fought Chuck Liddell. Check out that fight, guys. Alistair Overeem versus Chuck Liddell. Skinny Overeem. That's what he's really like until the horse meat.
Horse meat, man. The horse meat worked for him, bro. Holy shit. You know what's interesting? Overeem shrunk now. He's thin. Have you seen that
I'll,
picture, Finch?
You got to text it to me right now.
Holy
bro.
shit.
Hit
This type in Alistair Overeem skinny, and you're going to see him now. He looks like back in the day. He looks like he's back in the Chuck Liddell days.
Overeem skinny.
You'll see it right away.
Okay, Overeem. He's still got the biceps on it. Oh, wow. It's the chest is gone, dude. He can't get rid of those biceps, though. Why does he got
I think that's he's always going to have biceps. I think he had that even when he was skinny.
He's just got crazy biceps on him. Wow. Yeah, it's the traps, too, man.
He shrunk.
Alistair Overeem always had those huge traps, man. You know, he just looks like a roof.
Now, not so much, man. It looks more like a tent.
Jeez, man. Yeah. Wow. Hey, man, you know, you don't want to abuse your body for too long, man.
No,
it's hard being in the gym lifting all those weights. You know, it's rare to be a Brock Lesnar. That guy's still huge, you know?
Yeah, he's a freak of
actually
freaks.
Much more common. I got to, a few years ago, I met Arnold Schwarzenegger at the Arnold Sports Festival. I mean, you could see the same story with him. Now, he did get back in shape. He actually went through a bit of a roller coaster, you know, and got out of shape, then went back to shape. But, seeing Alistair all small, I mean, it's like, you know, you don't stay huge forever. It's really hard to maintain that big muscle mass. The way those bodybuilders eat and the supplements, you know, it's a lot. So why not try to, now that he's done with fighting, adjust for longevity? Respect to him. He should be skinny. Sense. It's probably better for him. Yeah, fact. Especially as tall as he is, too. He doesn't need to be 270. Yeah. Come on. Alistair's probably 225, 230, but he just lifts a lot of weights. Yeah, facts. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card. It's a damn good one. Volkan Oezdemir versus Bogdan Guskov. Guskov is coming in as a, dangerous Uzbek prospect with a, good striking game to him, man. He's got a bit of a sniper style, and I think he's a dangerous guy for sure. But to debut against Volkan Oezdemir, who's a top 12, I think he's ranked 11, but he's top tier for sure. I don't know. Worrisome, right? What I see with Guskov is a guy who brings a good bullying onslaught of strikes, and he's definitely a bit heavy-handed, but at times I do think he gets careless and his hands are low. You can't make those mistakes against Volkan Oezdemir because it takes an inch and he can put your lights out. Oezdemir was KOing everybody on the come-up, and he's pretty notoriously durable. He went long and even had moments with Magomed Ankalaev, a loss recently to Nikita Krylov. I don't see Guskov coming in debut beating a Volkan Oezdemir. Guskov was actually chinned in the first round, maybe 4 or 5 fights back. I think Oezdemir can put him to sleep as well. I think we're going to go Oezdemir knockout. First of all, you said Guskov was a sniper striker? What kind of sniper rifle is he using, bro? It's like medieval times where they throw the rocks. Yeah. That's what he throws. Boom! That's what he throws. He throws from fucking grandma's house. He throws that loop and shit. You know how Israel Adesanya said they throw in hope, I aim and fire. This guy throws in hopes. Come on, is he a sniper? I mean, maybe it's more the stance. I use it as I'm saying that he looks kind of like at times he'll have that hand out long, kind of like Abus. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. At times he'll do that, but when he gets in close, he'll bang. He'll bang. Like he's just maintaining. I watched his fights on UFC Fight Pass. Like, all right, I'm gonna check this guy out. They had like his first 2 or 3 fights on UFC Fight Pass. So he was like not good. I was like, what is this? Why is he fighting a guy who's like 2 and 3? And then I realized UFC Fight Pass only has his so I dug him up and dug into the YouTube and then, okay, he's got a lot more muscular, a lot better at fighting. So, he's live here, buddy. He's live here. Him from a few years ago isn't live, but the guy who's going to be stepping in there with Volkan Oezdemir is a dangerous guy, and Volkan has been clipped with big shots. But look at the competition difference. I mean, Volkan Oezdemir has fought the who's who, and I can imagine Volkan Oezdemir pulling this thing out, but totally not going to bet on him, man. I would totally not bet on this fight. Ozdemir's the favorite? Ozdemir's a bit of a favorite, yeah. He is sitting at -180 to Guskov at +155. Yeah, good size favorite. Oezdemir by KO. +115, so not a great line.
I think Oezdemir is dangerous here, man. I think Guskov gets hit too much for my liking. I think he's gonna get put to sleep, man. Coming in, debut, Volkan Oezdemir. Oezdemir ain't done yet. Oezdemir ain't. His career's not over yet. I think he can still move.
Man, I'm starting to think Guskov because of the dog money. It might be a dog or pass type fight. I could imagine Oezdemir pulling this thing out. He's fought such better competition, and it's a big step up for Guskov, and we'll really see what he's made out of, man. I think he's going to come in it and try to throw big and probably gas a little bit in the second and third, and that might be, just because he's a little nervous, big spotlight, and Oezdemir is a vet now, so that might be his time to start putting it on him and making this an MMA fight. So yeah, I'll take Oezdemir with a close decision. But as far as the lines go, it's like dog or pass. This is like a 50-50 fight to me. I don't know who's going to win.
Let's go. Finch, I'm more confident on Volkan than you are. I'm going to actually say knockout, dude. I think he's going to chin him, dude. I think he's going to knock him out.
All right. I mean, Guskov does throw wide because he ain't no sniper. I'm not hating. Yeah. I'm just No, you give me a hard time. It's fine. I don't know. For me, giving you a hard time all day, and your picks have been so good, So yeah. I could have shit on you 2 months ago when you were on the lock skid. Like now you're fucking. What were you 10-2 last card?
10-3. 10-3.
I mean, come on, folks. Give my man AJ his props. They don't even recognize you on your own show, though.
I don't know. That guy was drunk, man. He said that he was drinking.
AJ gets a comment on his picks show on Sunday, and he goes, "Hey, great picks, Finch." Blah blah blah. AJ's like, my name's AJ, but thank you.
That was hilarious, bro.
Take it as a compliment, okay?
Yeah. It was a nice compliment, man.
He thought you were the king, bro.
He thought I was the parlay king, bro.
He thought you were the fucking parlay king. Take it as a compliment, brother.
Yeah, I took it as a great compliment. I wasn't offended. I just didn't want him to look like a fool in the live chat calling me Finch, They don't get shafted in there,
It's a dog eat dog world in the live chat.
It is. Dude, Mike Finch gets attacked in the live chat.
They don't really want the smoke. UFC Gym, Huntington Beach. If you want the smoke, UFC Gym, Huntington Beach, folks, come see me.
I hope that somebody just walks in. I hope it's like something out of a comedy movie. Like this guy walks in I don't know, just like a goofy character. Maybe he comes in straight off the streets. He looks like maybe a little crazy, spiky red hair. I don't know, a big beard, big gut. Finch, man, I'm here to challenge you,
Izzy's oversized breast, which is great. Says, I'm on fire. That's what I'm talking about. And you're going to be set on fire if you step into the cage at UFC Gym Huntington Beach against me, folks. Finch. They don't really want it. Oezdemir decision. Next.
Let's go. Oezdemir for the win. Let's keep running. The featured bout of the night is Benoit Saint-Denis versus Thiago Moises. Listen, Benoit Saint-Denis is a big fan of the channel, bro. He's a huge. I was featured in his video when he was absolutely shafting everybody that picked against him in his last fight. So I feel honored to have been there. Now, I was against him there on Bone Feme, and he used it as like a highlight reel, silencing the haters, but we're just giving picks. We're not hating on him. I'm picking Benoit Saint-Denis here, not because he's telling me, listen, you better pick me. I'm flying out from France, and I'm going to fucking come over and meet you at Gracie or something like that. But I think that Benoit Saint-Denis can outpace a Thiago Moises. I think he can outdog a Thiago Moises. And I feel like if we're looking at striking, he'll crack a bit harder than a Moises. I like Saint-Denis to win this fight, man. I'm going to pick him to pull it off in the judges' scorecards. Thiago Moises is a crafty Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter, and he does have a decent enough stand-up game, but I think Saint-Denis can outdog him here.
Yeah, I got Saint-Denis in this one. I like how AJ puts that outdog him. Moises is too passive. He relies on his jiu-jitsu. Even odds on this one. I'm going to go Saint-Denis. I do believe that he's going to bring the pressure. He's going to be the guy in round 2 and round 3 to get this thing done. Sense of urgency, right? He's got that dog in him. He's got that dog in him. And as AJ says, we got to go Saint-Denis. And AJ, they're coming in for the fight. You want to bring these up?
Where?
Tanner Austin is going to print a photo of me to motivate him to train every day. And then he's going to save for a plane ticket to come get a piece. I can't wait, brother. I can't wait. Your first beatdown is free. And one up, the Bob, who's always talking shit. The Bob likes to say that I'm chinny. The Bob, I got news for you. I've sparred Rafael Dos Anjos. I've sparred Fabricio Verdum. I've sparred Kelvin Gastelum. I've never been knocked out or rocked in my entire life. I've done jiu-jitsu since I was 10 years old. I've never been submitted. I don't know what it's like, okay? So never been submitted. Sorry, never been choked unconscious. I've tapped 1,000 times in the gym. I didn't mean to say that. But I'm 5-0 in MMA. What's your record, the Bob? Oh, you're 6'2", 240? Well, guess what? You have 2 arteries in your neck. When I wrap my fucking primary arm around the first one and I slide the secondary in, because I'm not like Hamzat. I don't put the hand on top. No. You're not pulling that thing out. And I rotate because I really know how to do a good strangle. I don't just rely on the bicep and the secondary. I add that John Danaher rotation. You're going out, Bob. You're going out, Bob. So quit talking shit.
Oh, shit. The Bob heavyweight.
Saint-Denis all day. I really like him in this one, and I think he takes it on the scorecards with a pretty dominant decision.
Listen, close line too at -155 is in more the playable position. Saint-Denis to win by decision is +250 for that one if you're on Benoit Saint-Denis on the cards, man. We're both going Benoit Saint-Denis for the win, baby.
Benoit Saint-Denis. I just feel like, dude, the odds are close. Are we not seeing something? Shouldn't Saint-Denis be like 2-1?
Reason being is Moises' competition level. The fact he's been in there with some high stakes names, and he gets credit for going 4 rounds with Islam Makhachev, though he was on survival the whole time. He wasn't really looking to win that fight.
People really give him credit. People are giving him credit for surviving.
Maybe the bookie. I don't know. I guess he's still an underdog against Benoit, who, 3-1 in the UFC, but on a 3-fight streak. In Paris too, man, I think Saint-Denis, he's just too much of a dog. Like if Saint-Denis was an underdog, right? He's a dog that has a ton of fucking heart. He's going to keep coming. He's a favorite here, but he's a guy that's definitely going to fight for your money. He's a guy that's going to give it all that he fucking has. If Saint-Denis is not unconscious, or just beating him when the time runs out, you're not going to beat him. He's one of those guys that is not going to tap. He's not going to quit. He took one of the most vicious beatings against Elizeu Zaleski ever, and the referee was suspended from refereeing any more fights on that fucking card because he let Zaleski beat Saint-Denis to a pulp. But there was no wilt or quit in Saint-Denis. There's no facial expression change. Why? I mean, the dude is a, equivalent of a Navy SEAL in France. The dude's made of fucking steel.
The equivalent of a Navy SEAL in France. So he's a badass, but he'll probably lose the war. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't want to say not. I don't know. Saint-Denis gonna have this clip in, man. Holy shit.
Oh, French war.
Then once Saint-Denis walks into Huntington Beach, he's coming for you now, bro. He knows this channel.
I love the French. Parlez-vous français?
Parlez-vous? Oui.
I appreciate the attempt. I have a cousin who lives outside of Paris, Agathe Gilbert. I'm gonna send this to her for sure. So hello, Agathe. And I gotta go to France. My wife's been wanting to go forever. This would have been the perfect card. I love France a lot. I'm just joking. And dude, I think Saint-Denis puts on for the hometown. He's gonna let the Brazilian come in there and beat him. We're going Saint-Denis.
Saint-Denis for the win. He's in his prime too. I know Saint-Denis, like when you look at his picture, I think everybody assumes he's in his mid-30s, but the dude's 27. He's the younger guy here by a year or two.
Yeah, I like it, dude. I like it. And when I saw the odds were even, I liked it even more.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Benoit Saint-Denis for the win. Co-main event of the evening. Manon Fiorot versus Rose Namajunas. Mike Finch, I'm picking Rose Namajunas to beat Manon Fiorot, believing that if she's on, she's one of the best females to ever step inside of the cage. I think that her speed is a factor moving up in weight. She's going to have an edge over Fiorot, who normally I'd say is fairly quick with her striking, not the fastest girl in the division. Good side kicks by Manon Fiorot. I think Rose Namajunas is going to end up filling out a 125 frame a lot better than people are anticipating. And I don't think she'll be that same skinny girl that she once was. I think it's a tit-for-tat competitive fight where Namajunas' speed ends up being a key factor and her able to close the gap and find some big shots. I think she pulls it off against Fiorot. I'm going Namajunas with the upset. I'm not writing her off yet. I think Fiorot's good, but let's not forget she had trouble with Caitlin Chukagian last time. And I don't think she looked exceptional. She looked good in the fight, but I don't see her as next up as champion. I see Rose Namajunas, the younger fighter as well of the two, who's been in there against all of the best at 115, winning her debut at 125.
I see what you're seeing, and a lot of people are super excited about Manon Fiorot here. And I watched her fight Caitlin Chukagian again, and she's kind of heavy on her feet, and Rose is totally not, So my thing with Rose is, she's coming off of that staring contest. So will she repeat, or will we see the Rose of old? And if she repeats, she won't do enough damage. Manafro will win. But if we see the Rose of old, I think Rose is actually a pretty bad matchup for Manafro. She's probably better on the ground. She's quicker. She's a better boxer. She's very used to dealing with things like side kicks and like the little shades of Taekwondo you see in Manafro's game. Rose Namajunas used to train at Rufus Sport up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So she's been around a ton of those martial artists, those Anthony Pettis style, kicks. And she's very, very accustomed to a good kicker. So, Manafro trying to stab that side kick and kind of, walk her down a little bit. I think Rose moves side to side on her, dots her up with the hands. Rose is honestly a terrible matchup for Manafro. The only issue I have is just the way Rose's last fight went. And I mean, when you look at the odds here, holy moly, are they taking that fight into account? Clearly people think that the staring contest Rose is the new thing. Talk about being judged off of your last fight. So this is a champ. This is one of the best female fighters we've ever seen in mixed martial arts. I do not think that we can just judge her off of that one fight. Is it possible? Of course it's possible that she comes out there and doesn't lay on the gas pedal again. But Rose Namajunas has a lot of weapons. If she uses them in this fight, she's got it. And you know what her nickname is? It ain't Princess. It's Thug. And I want to see Thug Rose get the comeback. Give me Thug Rose Namajunas. And dude, call me crazy, she could put Manafro away if she puts it together. Head kicks, punches. I mean, Rose Namajunas could get mean and put her away. We'll go safe. Moneyline, because AJ, you don't have to bet on a finish here. Rose is a dog.
Moneyline plus 150. Rose Namajunas. Fiorot minus 175. Namajunas has a unique ability to find the target and get these epic wins in spots that she's not expected to perform. But then she lets down in a spot where she's expected to perform so well. I think that being the dog here, everybody writing her off after one of the worst fights ever against Carla Esparza, I feel like she's poised to be victorious. Coming up in weight, Rose Namajunas. Thug Rose, baby. Thug Rose for the win. She's going to get it done.
Thug Rose. What was she saying to herself? I'm the best.
Yeah.
I'm the best, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right before the fight, I'm the best. Man, I think her hands are a lot better than Manafro's. And when I watch Manon, it's she's stuck in a mud almost. Yeah. She's stuck in a mud almost, Yeah. And I think Rose can move around her a little bit. So Manafro's the bigger woman. Manafro's on fire right now. But is Manafro that A+ level? I don't think so. Yeah, dude. I like
overrated. Overrated. Little overrated, man.
A little bit. A little bit. She's very competent. She's very good.
She's good. Yeah. Just everybody, at one point, and I was probably part of it, was kind of acting like she was maybe unbeatable. I think that she is beatable, and I think Rose beats her here.
Right. I mean, yeah, a sharp brother says Rose beat Wei Li, right? Yeah. Remember Rose knocking out Wei Li? Did you guys just see what Wei Li did? How high level Wei Li is? Like, Rose has been in there with the who's who. Manafro's never seen no shit like that. So Rose has fought better women than this. Rose can win this fight.
Yeah. We're going Rose Namajunas for the upset. And let's jump to the main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's Ciryl Gane versus Sergey Spivac. Mike Finch, I am picking Ciryl Gane to win this fight after sitting on this one for a while, because obviously Sergey Spivac has a bullying grappling game. He's a very strong wrestler who's dangerous from the top position. But my thought process is John Jones being the greatest ever, getting Ciryl Gane into that horrible position and strangling him. It could also not just be the skill set of Jones, but the moment of being in front of a guy who's considered the GOAT of the sport that you partake in for a world heavyweight title. Ciryl Gane, regardless of that, was always known as a hybrid fighter. His movement is comparable to a middleweight. He's not an easy guy to get a hold of for most people. Obviously, you can say, oh, Francis Ngannou landed takedowns on him. And, obviously there, we take away some yellowish flags from that matchup, but he very easily could have got a close decision over Francis, and everybody would have been giving him praise as being the unified heavyweight world champion. And now you give him Sergey Spivac, whose big red flag is the fact that I don't believe he responds well to heavy strikes. Now, a big, heavy-handed, brawlic puncher who's going to be heavy on his feet is going to be on his back pretty quick with a guy like Sergey Spivac. But the fluidity in movement here allows Ciryl Gane to stay upright. I do think Spivac's going to have a hard time getting at his legs. I think Gane will make him pay when he enters. The Ciryl Gane elbows in close. He knocked out Junior Dos Santos with those elbows. And I think they could be a factor here. When Spivac got ripped with an elbow by Aspinall, the fight fell apart for him here. And it was a quick first-round knockout. I'm going to go Gane to knock out Sergey Spivac, Mike Finch.
Round?
I'm feeling second round. It could be in the first. I'm feeling second.
It doesn't, the way that Ciryl Gane performed when he was on his back against Francis Ngannou and on his butt against John Jones, I understand the point that that's Francis Ngannou and John Jones. I get that point. Like, these are the two best heavyweights, and that's what we're comparing him to. Fair point. But if you look at the technique, if you look at the way he responded, it seems as if it doesn't need to be John Jones or Francis Ngannou. It seems like the average, blue belt at Art of Jiu-Jitsu, where I trained this morning, would be able to smush him if you put them in those positions. They're getting fucked up on the feet. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if Ciryl Gane ends up in a bad spot, my God, did he look horrible in those spots. And so it's just like, how am I going to bet on a guy who, if you put him in a certain area, he has such a hole in his game that you could just drive a truck through it. So, Spivac's good on the top position. AJ brings up a phenomenal point, and it's something I think a lot of people aren't thinking about, which it's that movement of Ciryl Gane. It will be hard to take Ciryl Gane down. I have no doubt that John Jones is having a much easier time taking Ciryl Gane down than Sergey Spivac, but they got 25 minutes, and Ciryl Gane could snipe him. That's totally fair, but I can't bet on him. I can't make that mistake again. Okay? I got to learn my lesson, man. And until I see it in the cage, AJ, Sergey Spivac mounted TKO.
Wow, Sergey Spivac mounted TKO to take out Ciryl Gane, who is French's pride in France. It's a ballsy take. I respect it. I respect that side. And I understand the points you make, because obviously those are the relative concerns here, right? Ciryl Gane on his back. What happens when Spivac is on top, flattens him out, and Gane, what does he offer? Let's find out, man. Let's find out.
Unless he got better. But
which he could have.
The Ciryl Gane that went for a heel hook on Francis Ngannou, that was a bad heel hook, AJ. The Ciryl Gane that didn't even try to push the hips away, like Tito Ortiz does, wrap the back so you could turn your neck into the body of John Jones to free an artery. He didn't try to hip escape. He didn't try to wrestle to then create some space. Just tapped, just sat against the fence and accepted the loss. That is the type of thing where if he gets some blood in his arms, if he gets tired, maybe Ciryl Gane is dominating this fight, but you put him in that spot one time and he's just going to tap out and I don't want to say and quit, but submit. Yeah, I can't bet on it. Although, I mean, to argue your side, it's not like it's that close on the feet either. Like, Ciryl Gane is levels and levels above a Sergey Spivac on the feet. If he bounces around, uses that big cage to move side to side, it could be a Tai Tuivasa looking ass whooping, a Derek Lewis looking ass whooping. I'm saying the way Ciryl Gane was able to smoke them. But Sergey Spivac beat Tai Tuivasa too. I mean, it's definitely doable for him. And I think he needs one takedown. If he's got over a minute left, he finds a way to get him out of there, AJ. I cannot believe that Ciryl Gane was, the number one ranked heavyweight in the world, and had holes like that in his game, it's remarkable. And so until I see it, I can't bet on it, my brother.
Respect. -160 for Ciryl Gane Bungamin. Sergey Spivac at +140. It's a hell of a main event. It's a dangerous fight. The plus money side with Spivac, Finch, if he does pull off a TKO, it's +450. If the opposite side got a TKO being Gane, it's +125. And I'll also add in Spivac by sub, sits at +400. Mike, do we go under 2.5 rounds in this fight? That's crazy too, right? This is a crazy bet.
I know. I'm chilling. I'm watching this main event with my popcorn. I'll have AJ's live on. I'll be listening. I'll be talking some shit. Some people in the chat are gonna want to fight me. I'm gonna give them the address for UFC Gym Huntington Beach. You know, we're gonna do the normal thing, brother. I don't think I want to place any bets on this fight. I think I want to watch it.
Same. I think this is a very dangerous bet fight because of the possibilities. I feel like it ends inside distance. I think Ciryl Gane, I really do think he lands the elbow and gets the win, but it's like one of those matchups where there is a clear jumping off the page red flag, which is Gane's game off of his back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And you know, to be fair, there's some red flags with Sergey Spivac striking. Like, Gane is so much lighter on his feet, you know? Gane is bigger than Sergey Spivac, but moves like he's 3 weight classes less. You know, Sergey Spivac looks like a heavyweight when he's in there striking. Ciryl Gane is just phenomenal. I mean, Bungamin is very impressive, and he's going to be in France. He's probably going to have a nice little adrenaline rush and feel good out there. So, you know, Ciryl Gane's live. I'm not saying that.
Let's go. Ciryl Bungamin for me. Finch going Sergey Spivac. Hell of a main event. And it's time to jump to the lock of the night. UFC Paris lock of the night section. Mike, this is always, like I say, an infamous section. Last week, Waldo Cortez Acosta blessed me, so I am feeling quite excited heading into this one here, being on a 2-fight streak with the lock section. Finch, man, throw us your lockout, Mr. Parlay King.
Oh, my God. Are you guys ready? As soon as I drop it, okay, I want you guys to go fade it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'll take a shot, man. Oh, God. Give me Saint-Denis. I think Saint-Denis beats Thiago Moises. I like the dog in him, as AJ says. He's got the dog in him. So now I just curse Saint-Denis. Give me Saint-Denis unanimous decision as my lock of the night.
Well, guys, that means Thiago Moises is the underdog of the night. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned for
motherfucker.
Listen, the Mike Finch, I think you're going to shift it. It's in France. Your cousin lives there. I think the curse will be lifted after this one, bro. Don't sweat. Don't worry. I'm going the side of Volkan Oezdemir. Mike Finch doesn't necessarily have that same level of confidence in Oezdemir that I do, but he's on the Oezdemir side too. I don't believe in Guskov's game. He gets too wild. And when you jump to that UFC level of competition and Volkan Oezdemir is poised inside of that cage because he has fought the best fighters that have walked, the planet at light heavyweight, for most of them. I mean, he fought Cormier. He's fought some fucking savages. And I think Volkan Oezdemir has the cleaner striking technique here. And he's not substantially older. He's only 33 with Guskov at 30. I'm going Volkan Oezdemir by a KO as the lock this week. I think he's pulling the shit off, Mike.
I respect it, brother. He certainly fought a lot better competition. So we'll welcome our Russian OV friend to the UFC and see what he's got.
Fade the OV lately, bro. I've been fading the OVs. I'm telling you.
How dare he? It's against your religion.
Not anymore, my man. Listen, we
blasphemy.
We can't get locked on things, bro. We can't say absolutes. You know what I'm saying? I can't say only OVs. We got to mix it up. We got to be open-minded. Volkan Oezdemir chins him.
I respect it. We're not dogmatic around here. We don't just stick to some formula. We assess all the facts, folks. We're not listening to things based on, it's an OV, we're picking it. No, AJ picks with his brain, his heart, and his balls. And he's going out there and going for Volkan Oezdemir. Look, I can see it. I don't know who's going to win that fight, but now I'm rooting for Volkan Oezdemir for you, brother.
Let's go, baby. And listen, Saint-Denis is a guy that I'm picking too, and I'm confident he can win as well. So I like your lock. I like mine. Looking at the odds, Oezdemir -180, Saint-Denis -155. If you're looking at Prop side of things with Oezdemir, a KO is plus 115 for him, which is not huge plus money, but just something worth mentioning. I do think he wins. Saint-Denis to outdog Thiago Moises and win a unanimous decision or a decision overall sits at plus 250. That is the lock section this week. Let's fucking get it. I can't wait. I've been more excited for the lock section lately, Mike Finch. I don't fear the lock section anymore. We're getting 3 in a row with this one right here, bro. Let's go. We're breaking the fucking the lock curse for you, Finch. So
AJ's making his own streak. You get the 7 lock streak. I'm gonna send you a crown,
Let's
brother.
Listen, right? I'll go with Burger King, bro. I'll go with Burger King.
Hey, I thought about it. Okay, I haven't been eating red meat recently. We can talk about that, but I thought about it. If I wanted a burger, I'd be wearing that fucking paper crown. I got no shame.
Let's go. I wouldn't either. I'll get that paper crown. I'll get myself a little, I don't know what a kid's meal there is called, man. A king's meal. I'll get a king's meal. I don't know. Fuck it. Parlay time, baby.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Mike Finch is on a 7 parlay streak. He is the king of the parlays. The parlay king is what we call him on the street. And Mike sits upon his throne and he's ready to tell us some magic, some guaranteed money. What it is, man. What it is.
Always bet responsibly, folks. This is not financial advice. Make sure that you guys are making your own picks. We're just telling you what we think. We've never told you to bet on anything. You've got to make that decision for yourself. But it's been 7 in a row for me. Are you guys ready for 8 in a row? Then let's start the fucking card off right. Give me Farid Basharat. I think Farid Basharat is getting this done. And trust me, I like Clayton Rodrigues. I do. But he's moving up in weight. He's against the submission ace, and he's against a guy who's going to be competent enough on the feet as well. Give me Farid Basharat. You can just money line it because we're parlaying that up with Ange Loosa. I think Loosa is definitely going to win because he has more power, because he's going to be able to deal with the kickboxing style, and because he could potentially hit takedowns in this fight. So he's competent on the feet, and he's got the grappling advantage, more physically strong. I rewatched that fight with Jack Della Maddalena. I'm feeling it. So for 8 in a row, give me Ange Loosa and Farid Basharat.
Plus 105 for the Finch's parlay. Listen, Finch, I'm not going to stray from it. I'll be honest, before you said it, I was getting mine added up, and I'm on the same one. I'm not changing it up, chasing any crazy line. I'm going plus 105. I'm riding with the parlay king himself, Mike Finch. It's Ange Loosa and Basharat for the win. I think they're pulling it off. I like both of them to pull this one through. I think it's going to happen, bro. I like this parlay a shitload, actually, man. I'm glad you said it. You added to my confidence. I was wondering, I wonder what Finch is going to do. And we're thinking the same thing. Let's go. I'm thinking like a king.
I almost got wild. I was like, do I throw Rose in this just to make people go nuts? No, I'll keep Rose out of it just because of the inconsistencies, you know. But I might sprinkle Rose too, being a dog. But you didn't hear that here, folks. 2-fight parlay and it's plus money. That is my parlay. Lock it in.
Lock it in. I'm on the same one as Finch. We're going Loosa and Basharat plus 105. I think it's a heavy hitter that's going to come through for you guys, man. Looking forward to this damn card, Finch. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the lock and the parlays. You know, I get hype as fuck for those.
I was telling AJ before we went live, if I can make it to a 10 parlay streak, what do we do? Do we got to get that Victoria's Secret model the dude at the beginning of the show was talking about? I mean, what do we do to turn up, because we need something cool? Do we get a fighter on? Like, what for a 10 parlay streak? We got to celebrate.
We got to do something. I don't have any idea off the top of my head.
Drop it in the comments, folks.
Yes.
How do we celebrate the 10 parlay streak? Because I feel like I'm coming for it.
Let's go. He's about to hit 8 this week, man. I'm on the same one, so we'll fucking fingers cross it up. Let's get it. Mike, tell me why you're not eating meat, bro. Let the people know what happened.
Bro, I went to you gonna put me on blast like that, bro? All right.
Hey, you bet you did.
How truthful do I want to be? Two things. One is that I went to a slap grappling tournament, okay? And at the slap grappling tournament, they're just giving out mushrooms. So how do I not eat some mushrooms? Yeah. And you eat the mushrooms, and my wife's like, let's go to TK Burger. I'm like, ugh, eating meat just sounded gross to me. I don't know why. What's that?
With the psilocybin mushrooms?
Yeah, psilocybin
At the
mushrooms.
fucking grappling event, they're handing out shrooms?
Grappling event for free, AJ. Dude.
Craziest shit I've ever heard.
They were giving out samples, brother. I got chocolate bars. I don't even know what to do with this stuff, okay? Don't do drugs, kids. That's not what we're saying here, okay? We still want that sponsorship from that with the catering thing the guy dropped.
Dude. It's just a story.
Listen. So that happened, and I gotta be honest. I went to the Orange County Fair. I see this cow. I get down. I'm looking at the cow. The cow's looking at me. I'm like, I could take your milk, but I don't feel like eating you. I feel like, so I felt like, you know what? I would just rather chill on the red meat. I'm not done. I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. I'll still kill a fucking animal and eat it. Don't tell me I ain't a man. Look at that chest hair. Don't tell me come on. But, I'll just less, bro. I eat burgers, or I should say I ate burgers like every day, okay? I am made out of hot dogs and steaks and cheeseburgers, and it was time, to mix up the diet a little bit. I got some rice in there. I got some eggs. I got some vegetables. I'm doing a little bit better, AJ. Okay,
that's good. Listen, that's good, bro. I think that what you said is a factual statement. If the times I have partaken in psilocybin potentially, not me, but somebody that looks like me. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'll say it. I feel like I get the meat thing. I'd be disgusted by the thought of a hamburger. Funny, Rashad Evans said after a trip he ended up becoming vegan. He doesn't eat any meats.
Wow. I didn't know that was a thing. So you've already heard of somebody.
Yeah. No, it is a thing.
It was like an epiphany, dude. It was weird. Yeah. I was thinking about like bloody meat, like a steak. I was like, ugh. It was like gross to me for some reason.
I don't know why that is. Yeah, I really don't know why that is, but I totally understand what you mean. And I think that I would get the same feeling. Like I'd be like, yeah, let me chill for a bit. And then eventually, as time wears on, you're like, give me a fucking cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying?
Joel S. Mike Finch is going to eat bugs soon. He's either a Valuetainment fan, shout out Patrick Bet David, or he's listening to the World Economic Forum where they were talking about people should eat more bugs. Brother, I love peanut butter. They say there's a certain amount of bugs in peanut butter, so I guess I eat it anyway, but that is disgusting, brother. Come on, man. I am too much of a house cat to be eating bugs out here, my friend.
That's fair. That cow would have eaten you, Finch. Tanner Austin said it, man.
I swear I was looking at her and she was looking at me and we had a moment. And was like,
this was psilocybin based, right? Or this is shroomy. This is potentially.
I can't give too much detail here. I'm not doing drugs and going to the fair. What do you think? I'm a degenerate, AJ? Right. Don't do drugs.
Sound like
kids.
me, man.
Okay. But hey, I'm not religious, but it's God made it. It came from the earth, right? It's just a mushroom. It's out there growing. You ever heard the stoned ape theory by Terrence McKenna? The doubling of the human brain size being linked potentially to the chimpanzees coming out of the trees and eating the mushrooms. And we know that, it makes new neural connections and does interesting things to your brain. So who knows how beneficial it is. I know for sure that certain types of mushrooms are taken in teas and stuff and helps people with their cognitive function. And my wife does a certain mushroom thing, definitely not magic mushrooms. I'm trying to remember the name. I know our producer, Billy Barnes, would definitely know the name like this, and he's mad at me right now, but he's in Kauai. Let him enjoy himself. I just think that I'm going to chill on the red meat a little more. I will say this, a last thing on the topic. I got in a Facebook debate. People say there's no fruit to Facebook debates. Here's one. A guy tells me meat causes cancer. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Stop. Meat does not cause cancer. So, you know me, AJ. Do I just, I look stuff up. I go do my research. I try to learn as much as I can. Turns out red meat, when consumed often, the way it's cooked makes it, has carcinogens in it, and it's not necessarily good for you all the way. And it especially the shitty red meat that we're getting at, McDonald's, it makes you more likely for different types of cancer. And I was eating red meat every day. So just another reason to chill on the red meat. I'm trying to be old as fuck, bro. I want to be as old as that. Who's the girl who we both picked on this card? Who everybody was like, she's old.
Zarah Fairn?
I want to be as old as her. Okay.
That's funny as shit.
I want to be old.
I'll say this, man. With the red meat, Dalton Rasta would rip you apart if you told him that. You know he would.
We need to have him back on.
You need to have him back on to discuss this, man. This will be a heated debate on the show. Yeah, I've heard things saying that, but I've also heard the complete contrary of people that have switched to full meat diets and actually, fought cancer with that. So when you start getting into it, it's hard, man, because there's so many different theories. And obviously, I don't need to get into fucking pharmaceuticals, but that type of medicine is going to go one direction. And then you have other, ways of thinking medicine wise that people try to bring to a forefront. That's not where the big money's at. You know what I'm saying? The big money's in pharmacy shit.
Yeah, no, I'm super not. I don't take SSRIs. I don't take I like being sober, buddy. I hardly drink alcohol. I like being sober. I do think that that's really important. You want to get back to baseline. I like Joe Rogan's Sober October. I think maybe we should all do that. Yeah, AJ, Sober October.
Let me think about it, man. That's hard, baby. I'm doing a lot of videos every day. You kidding me? Holy shit.
I like partying for Halloween, brother. I don't know.
Exactly.
All right. We'll see what's up. But yeah, man, I think it's good to think about these things. It's good to think about what you're eating. I mean, the average diet of my friends is pretty bad. So I grew up on all the bullshit, the stuff in my house, Oreos. What the fuck is an Oreo? Where's the Oreo tree? Can you show me the Oreo bush that grows these Oreos? These are just lab foods. You got to be careful with this shit.
I agree. Yeah. I'm a big diet guy. You know what I'm saying? I like to eat pretty clean. I like the red meat, but I like the store-bought lean red meat. A little bit different than if we're getting a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yeah, that's the Joe Rogan argument, right? He's like, kill an elk. But I don't, I live in Huntington Beach, brother. I don't think I've ever seen an elk. You know what I'm saying?
Fair. Let me bring this question up real quick.
The
Contender Series picks are dropping after this in the next couple hours. Stay tuned for it. I saw you ask a couple times. There it is. They're coming out soon.
Cool. AJ, I had fun.
I had fun too, bro. Great picks, great show, people. We appreciate you guys. Much love. Smash those likes. And if you're new, subscribe. It's been a hell of a ride, man. Blessed to be well past 20K, closing in on 21,000. Fight Companion Saturday, content every day. Contender Series after this. Why wouldn't you subscribe to the channel? Make sure those post notifications are turned on as well. Put them on all. Don't just keep them on personalized so you do not miss a video. And give Mike Finch a subscribe too. I got them linked up in the description.
We recorded. I told you guys the technique video is coming. We recorded it. It's in the editing process. That's out of my hands, folks. It'll be up this week. And I got the Giga Chikadze kick I should drop since he just fought. So yeah, we did a little technique video and it's shot really cool. And it's coming this week. And AJ, I'll announce it right now. Are you ready? I've got a live interview on Wednesday scheduled with Gogo Slaveski, the newest bare knuckle fighting champion. So if you want to hang out with me and Gogo Slaveski, go to @MikeFinch, YouTube @MikeFinch, and I will see you guys Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Florida time, 5 p.m. my time.
Give Mike Finch a sub. Check out the bare knuckle interview with the new champ, Gogo Slaveski. And also to brag real quick, Mike Finch, we killed the parlay for bare knuckle too, bro. It's transferring over to multiple combat sports, man.
Dude, I like betting on MMA. I'm good at betting on MMA. I've never bet on anything as successfully as bare knuckle fights, buddy. The record is nice.
The record is sweet. Mike Finch, much love, bro. People, much love. See you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.